here, James Grande and Jon Impemba, bringing you this kind of weird DraftKings day of slate baseball here, James. 2 split slate, 3-game slates is what we're looking at here. 6 games total scheduled by the MLB on Thursday here. So we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to preview the 12 o'clock early slate 3 games. We're going to make a lineup, do the whole position by position breakdown for you all. And then we're going to flip on over to the 7 o'clock slate and rerun the same thing. Go over each position and then make a lineup for you all. And a nice, neat 30. Get over to the 6-game Thursday slate, James.
Yeah, and it's an interesting slate. Kodai Senga priced insanely high for a Great American ballpark that obviously favors hitters. We have Bailey Ober coming off amazing start after amazing start, but now he runs into San Diego. So an interesting 3-game slate to start. And we can look at Vegas if we want to just, I don't know if we have really anything available to us, John. We have, at the time of this recording, we have 2 over-unders available, 9.5 in the Chicago-Kansas City game, and 8.5 in the Minnesota and San Diego game. Let's see what we got for money line favorites. Those are the only 2 games currently listed for either slate.
In Chicago, Kansas City, 60% chance of rain. Going over weather.com. It just says showers all day from 7 to 8 o'clock, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. It says showers at 60% precipitation. So maybe showers is something they play through. Otherwise, they got a 12-hour window. Rain. They could just delay it, I guess, and maybe just make it a night game, but that will not change this slate here, other than make you wait forever for it to be over. So something to watch there with this 3-gamer, maybe a 2-gamer that we're going over.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a 2-gamer, I mean, just all bets are off, and so
go hope DraftKings puts a full day slate out there and maybe a tag.
Yeah, they won't because for whatever reason they just decided against doing that this year. But yeah, you can always hope. You can always hope.
Always hope. All right, let's go to pitching here again. Only 3 games, so small pitching slate. Kodai Senga, as you mentioned, is 10-3 on the road in Cincinnati. Yu Darvish on the road against Minnesota here at 9,900. Bailey Ober, who's been an absolute stud. is $8,100 going up against San Diego. Mike Clevenger draws Kansas City at 66. Brady Singer Day at $6,100 here, are going up against White Sox. And then what we got here? Ben Lively. I was going to say Blake Lively, but that's an actress.
I'm pretty sure, an actress. Yep.
Yeah, it is an actress. 31-year-old right-hander. So, not a prospect. Journeyman here going up against the Mets. I mean, listen, we've talked a lot about Kodai Senga. And I have not been his biggest fan. Did not play him against Colorado. I thought he was far too expensive. 6 shutout, 2 innings, 21 fantasy points, got the win. Great, hit the nuts. If he didn't get the win there, it was a 1-0 final. You paid 10-2 for 17 fantasy points.
Even with the win, like 22 fantasy points wasn't like at 10-2. Like that wasn't.
It's not great.
Great,
right? Zeus agrees, right?
Zeus agrees with Kodai Senga not being
4 great games with 4 walks for Kodai Senga. And now he's in the Great American Small Park here.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel great for me. So what do you think his rostership's going to be, though, on a 3-game slate as the top price pitcher?
I would say if I had to guess, Darvish checks in at the highest owned rostership going up against Minnesota. We profiled how bad they've actually been against righties, despite our enjoyment of using Minnesota and enjoyment of pain at that. I would say he's probably the second highest. I mean, maybe Clevenger too, because we saw what Lance Lynn was rostership wise on Tuesday's slate, and Clevenger has been decent his last 2 starts in terms of fantasy production. So I would say maybe he checks in third behind Darvish and Clevenger, and maybe fourth with Ober just pitching out of his mind.
Yeah.
I'm sure people don't look at San Diego the way they look at Washington, KC, Cleveland. Those are the 3 matchups Ober's had so far. So, that is working against him because San Diego is a good offense. So probably third or fourth. But I think Darvish is the clear-cut spend up of the slate of the two. He's been relatively good outside of a start in Mexico City there.
Right.
So and against the Mets, but like every other start has been right
Yep.
on par with what we think of Yu Darvish.
Yep. I will say, this being a smaller slate, James, we've done it a few times in like those late slates. You can pitch both pitchers in a matchup. We did it with the
Agreed.
Millers. We played Bryce Miller, we played Mason Miller, worked out fine. That was like the winning combo that evening. So if Darvish and Ober go out there and pitch the way they're pitching, one of them gets the win, one of them gets the no decision or a loss. The loss doesn't hurt you on DraftKings here, but you could get 18 or 19 fantasy points and a no decision out of Ober here, and get the same thing. Like we saw him in Kansas City, 5 2/3, an earned, 6 Ks, 19 fantasy points, and then Darvish goes and gets the win. And if it's a low-scoring game, that's enough to be the top 2 scoring pitchers in the same matchup. So a strategy that can certainly be taken, because, again, I don't think we're looking at Singer or Lively here. Clevenger feels like a dart throw, but we kind of like Kansas City. Plus, we don't know what the weather's going to be like. So you could be down to really 3 pitchers in this one, Senga, Darvish, and Ober. And more people probably more likely to play a Senga Darvish than a Darvish Ober, or a Senga Ober than a double up. So there'll be some contrarianness to stacking the pitching in that lone matchup there. So something to at least consider. Moving on over to catcher here. Again, it's an early slate, so we may see some backup catchers in play here. Now, Kansas City plays their catchers every game because they either
have 3 of them.
Yeah, they DH or they play outfield. So, you have Melendez and you have Salvi, 2 of the top 3 price guys here.
And Furman, if you want to throw Furman into the mix too. Right. Casey, they have 3 catchers.
Right. So 3 of their catchers, they're within the top 6. Obviously, again, if you want to go against Clevenger and that game plays out, perfectly fine.
Yep.
I would love to use Grandal in that same spot, but again, weather forbidding that one. So, you take that game out, assuming weather's in play, and you have like Tyler Stevenson, Francisco Alvarez. Feels like Alvarez would be the popular punt play here.
Yeah, especially that we just saw Alvarez with the double dong potential.
And Nito went to the IL, I believe, too, right? So
so Nito IL, and they signed Gary Sanchez to a minor league deal.
Right.
So, it couldn't get worse than Thomas Nito. So, I think the punt is Alvarez, and that's literally it.
Mm-hmm. You're not going to play Christian Vasquez, so
no. I would play Tyler Stevenson if stacking against Senga, because Senga is, again, just hasn't been good. Now has to navigate. And he's been worse against lefties. I'll say that. Righties, he's still pitching well against, John. Righties are just hitting 190, so it's really primarily the lefties that I want to attack, and the Reds do have a couple lefties that we can get to, but only a couple. But if you are being contrarian on a small slate, I'm perfectly fine getting this Tyler Stevenson.
Yep. First base position here. Again, Pete Alonso's your top guy at 5,800. Again, in Cincy against Lively here. Feels like a strong play. Ridiculous power potential. Talk about it all the time. Pasquantino, again, one of our favorite options if this game goes off. $4,100 against Clevenger. Andrew Vaughn at 35 against Singer would be just a lock and load. We've been playing a ton of Kansas City, Chicago anyways. Singer's been abysmal. So, getting White Sox here in a game if this one plays out would be fantastic.
Yeah. To your point, Brady Singer against lefties this year, 406 WOBA allowed. Against righties this year, 404 WOBA allowed. There's just no bad split against Brady Singer.
No bad split. Anybody else?
Fossler, he's outrighted. He was waived.
We're not going to play Minnesota against Darvish. So.
Vogelbach, 2,600.
Okay.
He was in the lineup on Wednesday, hitting 7th. That's a way to be contrarian if you're getting a chalky Mets stack, which we will see. The Mets will be extremely chalky. A way to be different is playing Vogelbach over Pete Alonso.
Okay, I like it. Second base position here, Jonathan India, $5,100. We talked about him on the Wednesday slate being sort of that one-off, maybe contrarian play. I don't think you need to have him be a one-off. If you want to be different, just stacking Cincy here. I know they're better against lefties, but it is at home, and Indy has been ridiculous. So if you want to spend up at $5,100, there's not really a lot of other options. Again, it's a 3-game slate. You got to pick and choose where you're spending here. McNeil could come in with some decent ownership here at $4,100 as well. But other than that, I mean, nothing's really, popping off for me. I mean, if Rugnet Odor's in the lineup again, he played Wednesday, home run maybe, but he's been nothing for 5 years.
Years. Yeah. And then there's the stolen base potential we're getting out of Ha-Seong Kim lately.
Sure.
3 stolen bases over his last 10 games, 6. I mean, a lot this, just in general over the last 11. 5 stolen base over his last 11 games.
Yeah. Third base position here. Macho Man, Manny Machado at $5,200.
Yep, feels good.
You talked about him just raking right now. Red Beatty, a little price bump from the Wednesday slate. Now $3,400 on the Thursday slate. Probably the chalk play at third base.
Definitely.
But we've been playing a lot of Maikel Garcia. You can certainly see that play come through against Clevenger at $3,100. Let's see. Alberto's always been good against lefties, but Singer's been so bad.
You could play Alberto, I think.
Yeah.
Matt Duffy as well. Probably if he cracks the lineup, he's been hitting. He's just hitting this year. 348 average for Matt Duffy. Just good for you, I guess, dude. Where did that come from?
Well, we talked about it, right? I was trying to figure out if he was the rookie of the year and he was a runner-up to Chris Bryant.
Yeah, runner-up. Yep, runner-up to Chris Bryant.
Shortstop, again, 3 games, not plenty of options, but shortstop surprisingly kind of loaded with name talent. Tim Anderson, Francisco Lindor, Bobby Witt, Xander Bogaerts, Carlos Correa. Top 4 guys.
Yeah, Lindor's a chalk because it's a 31-year-old journeyman getting called up to make his season debut. Mm-hmm. He's the chalk. Witt is a good pivot off of him because I think Clevenger is going to be popular. Anderson is probably get some ownership because Brady Singer's been so bad. And then Xander's your contrarian play of all. No one's going to play Xander. He's been struggling. He's moved down in the lineup. And Bailey Ober's been so good. So that's how I'd assess it. And then the only other person I'd really even consider is Maikel Garcia, who we mentioned at third base.
Yep, I would agree with you there. Again, a lot of top name talent there. Just mentioning here, Pete Alonso has homered tonight. So just furthering the potential power upside that he brings to the table. Outfield. Tatis is your top price outfielder at $6,200. No longer dual position eligibility. He kind of was floating around there. Only outfield eligible. Maybe that's because it's 3-game slate. Find out. Buxton at 56, Juan Soto at 55, Marte, Nimmo. You see them all here. Lewis Robert would be an obvious plug for us. We've been a big fan of his lately, but where else? What's the other targets here when it comes to outfield, man?
I mean, the Mets are obviously going to be popular, even though they're expensive and not hitting. Brandon Nimmo, 205 his last 10 games.
We're going to have to find some ugly value because a lot of these guys are expensive and we're not really playing value pitching on a 3-game slate. So I
think it's the Reds here. Fraley and Friedel, 37-36, I think are decent value plays because where does Kodai Senga struggle? He struggles against lefty bats. Both these guys hit 3rd and 4th respectively. Both are actually on freaking fire too.
Fraley has 1-for-1 with an RBI tonight already. So
TJ Friedel hitting 394 over his last 10 games, and Jake Fraley 333 over his last 10 games, both over 900 OPS. I think those 2 spots. Edward Olivares is going to hit 5th for Kansas City, 5th, 6th in that area. We know Gavin Sheets 2,700. That's always in our back pocket if we wanted. Kirilloff has eligibility. We always know Darvish can serve up 1 home run. Nick Prado is our guy. We play him every single night, $2,500.
Yeah.
And then
outfield looks to be where the value is.
Yeah, outfield's the value. I mean, it depends on how really dirty you want to get, and you could look at Jackie Bradley Jr. I was literally talking him as you clicked him, and your brain clicked with my brain.
Listen, he had 3 games where he had 3 hits, so
I would rather play every other Kansas City outfielder imaginable, but yeah, I mean, there is a 3-hit game on the ledger. Can't take that away from him.
Can't take it away. 3 hits, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. And who do we pitch that day? We pitched Dylan Cease. So
We sure did.
unbelievable. All right. So that is the quick 3-game slate. Let's build the line, James. Are we double stacking San Diego, Minnesota here?
Yep, we sure are.
Okay. 4K.
We're playing a lot. And again, Brett Beatty's our plug at third.
Yeah. Feels like Alvarez is probably the punt here.
Alvarez is our punt catcher, 2,500. I'm perfectly fine getting to Alonso. I'm also, obviously, I'm a big fan of Pasquantino or Andrew Vaughn. I think both those.
Sure.
I think it's probably between Alonso, Pasquantino. Oh, they moved Andrew. Oh, no. I lied. What are we feeling? Spend all the way up on. We have value outfield that we're going to probably get to. And
let's see here. Kind of throwing some things together on the screen. See, tell me if you hate it or like it or not. But
I got something too.
Do we have a 33? Do I mean that's
the line.
All right,
we're being contrarian, attacking Senga, but I think again sometimes it's worth it.
Definitely something. Top of the lineup, they're going to do damage. They're going to do damage there. We got a couple of Mets bats in that lineup there. We got Michael Garcia as our spend down shortstop, and Lewis Robert. So I mean, listen, again, this is all contingent, obviously, on the weather there with Kansas City, Chicago. If it goes down to a 2-game slate, I mean, that's just what we have to deal with. But at least for now, it's 3 games. So this is our early slate build. You, Darvish, Bailey, Ober, we're pitching the pitchers against one another. Francisco Alvarez, Peter Alonso, Jonathan India, Brett Beatty, Michael Garcia, TJ Frito, Lewis Robert, Jake Fraley. So, James, early slate done. Let's go on over, take a look at the slate that we're going to have for the afternoon now. 7 o'clock start time. Tampa Bay, New York, Texas, Oakland, San Francisco, Arizona. Good sir.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We get Oakland back in their home ballpark with Nathan Eovaldi, who's pitching as well as anyone else in the league right now.
It is.
The Yankees and the Yankees coming off a monstrous stretch, but it's against the worst team in baseball in Oakland. And obviously you have to host Tampa here. And then Alex Cobb has been really good, and he goes into Arizona against a pitcher who hasn't been good. So this is going to be an incredibly interesting slate. Hogan Harris has a 162 ERA coming into this slate, John.
He's minus 15.5. He'll have 6 runs, 5 walks, 1 hit. He allowed 1 hit and 6 earned. It wasn't even a home run. 1 hit, 6 earned, 5 walks. What in the world did this man do? How did he even get called back up?
Are we sure? I'm going to look at MLB.com just to make sure, because we are like hours away from this.
10 starts at AAA in 2022 and has a 6.34 ERA, 1.84 WHIP in 32 innings.
That seems
seems like the worst pitcher in baseball.
Is this not this is what movie am I thinking of? Major League. This is the Major League owner is the owner of the
Oakland Athletics. Just trying to lose. I mean, they're already moving to. I mean, that news broke today or yesterday.
Yeah.
They bought the land the Tropicana sits on, and they're knocking down the Tropicana, which is like a kind of a big deal. Like back in early Las Vegas days, like the Tropicana was like a place to be. It was a marquee brand there. Now it's being knocked down in place of I don't know, the Oakland. They still, I mean, the Las Vegas Athletics. They got to change that name, right? It's gotta be something different.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah,
people keep calling it the Aces, forgetting the Aces already exist in Las Vegas.
Oh, that would have been a good one if
the WNBA team. So
they were too late on it. That was a good one.
Yeah. So they'll figure something out there. The Las Vegas Athletics doesn't really float that. Oakland Athletics doesn't really make any sense either. But Las Vegas Athletics probably got in for a name change there.
Yep. Sure.
Anyways, this guy's dreadful. Seems like we're going to be playing some Texas. Going to pitching. You talk about it, right? Alex Cobb has to deal with Arizona's lineup.
Yep.
Arizona certainly has some guys that can bang there, but Alex Cobb in his own right, 7 shutout innings his last start. Had 9 shutout complete game against St. Louis. Limited some damage against San Diego. Like, he's been very good this year. Just we're so used to wanting to play Arizona, but when you're looking at everybody else on this slate, like either I mean, you can't really face the Yankees anymore. Harrison Bader's like the hottest hitter in baseball, and Aaron Judge is back. I mean, it feels like you're going Eovaldi Cobb in this matchup here.
Yeah, it feels that way as well. Very hard to get to Domingo Germán, who's just
he was like okay against them. 5 innings.
Dude, he's so inconsistent, dude. He's so inconsistent. And he's been like moderately good, double-digit fantasy points in 5 straight games. So if you want to get there on a small slate, fine.
I mean, 12 fantasy points might be enough on this slate. Right?
Yeah, it might be. It might be. Rasmussen has the problem that he like faces where he got pulled at 87 pitches for no reason. Yeah. He had 2-hitter going. They pulled him 87 pitches in the 6th. So, yeah, I think it's Eovaldi and Cobb. But John, I am slightly interested in Tommy Henry because it's the Giants.
Yeah.
And we just know the Giants just don't hit lefties.
They really don't.
So, Tommy Henry hasn't been good. But he's coming off a pretty good start. 6 innings, just 2 earned. I know that it was just 10.7 fantasy points, but it was against a team who doesn't strike out. San Francisco strikes out almost more than anyone, everyone other than Milwaukee's against left-handed pitching. So I'd be okay getting to Tommy Henry as a punt.
Okay. Yeah, I will second that. I'm going to see what did
Patrick Corbin do?
Yeah, what did Patrick Corbin do? They lost 4-1. Patrick Corbin, 6 innings, 2 earned, 3 Ks. So again, good Patrick Corbin start. So
dude, you just can't stack against the guy right now. Like, just is kind of what it is, right? Like, you just don't stack against him.
Yep. Yeah, listen, Tommy Henry, that makes a lot of sense, and you'll be able to get some bats there, just sort of given the matchup. So no strikeout equity, but again, if he pulls off a win, I mean, you had 14 or 15 fantasy points, you're probably sitting pretty good. So
yep.
We're obviously not playing Harris. Germán, I don't like him in Yankee Stadium. I just don't.
Yeah.
All right, catcher.
I mean, everyone on Texas, MLB.com doesn't have an announced starter for Oakland, so keep that in mind when we head into this slate. They might just be listing Henry because that's like they don't have anyone else, and that just so keep that in mind. But
Gabriel Moreno at 31.
Yep. I think that no matter what, whether it's Texas or not, like they're all these everyone on Texas or whoever pitches for Oakland, the opposite Texas hitter is in play.
Sure.
Is that wrong? Like
I think we're on the opposite Jonah Heim
split. We are. But if it's a righty,
he's been so good. Yeah, he's been so good that it's hard to argue. Yeah, all right. I don't mind it. There's really not else down here. Bart $2,600, but again against a lefty. Moreno at 31 would probably be the only other guy I would take a peek at here.
Yeah, probably.
First base position. Yandy is your top price first baseman. Think of that. But Rasmussen against Rizzo at $4,700. Should run that or no?
Yeah. Let's see what the split is for Rasmussen.
And Rasmussen again, better pitcher than him. We've seen
he is good.
Have to face. So
no, just nothing done against this guy this year.
Yeah,
it's hard to 263 average is like the best number we can find against Drew Rasmussen.
Yeah. Raley was a ton of power. Gets Germán. He lefty bat in Yankee Stadium here. What was his stat? 13 of his 30 hits were extra bases.
13 of 21. 13 of 21.
13 of 21 hits this year went for extra bases for Luke Raley tonight. So definitely a big fan of him at 35. Pavin Smith's 33. Ryan Noda, probably not against Eovaldi, but good.
He's an interesting player. He's a good player.
Yep.
That dude. So
is Darren Ruff back? What is this?
Yeah,
reinstated.
Yeah.
Another guy that used to hit lefties well.
Yep.
Anybody else?
No.
Okay. Second base.
Simeon.
Yeah, it's not the right spot for him, but I guess we don't know who's going to actually pitch here, right? So
yeah, that's the issue. Glaber comes into this game very hot. If you want to play Yankee stack,
hey, Brandon Lau 4,400.
Brandon Lau 4,400, very good play. And then Jordan Diaz hit 3 home runs in a game. If you want to,
probably not going to happen that again.
Probably never going to happen again, but did do it.
Did do it.
Can say he hit 3 home runs in a game.
That's true. Third base. Josh Jung versus lefty. If Harris actually pitches,
yeah, that's as good
as gets. Would be the bingo play.
Yep, as good as gets.
Let's see here. Probably still give some Rivera look. 35.
Yep.
Wilmer's 28. He's dual eligible. Jace Peterson homer today. Out of nowhere.
Jace Peterson did homer. He's a good little player. I feel like he's a pretty good player.
So I think we're in agreement. This is Josh Jung for us.
It's Josh Jung.
There's nothing else.
It's Jace Peterson.
I mean, LeMahieu, I guess. All right.
It's LeMahieu who hit another home run on Wednesday. So yeah, I mean, look, DJ LeMahieu is a very good player when he's healthy. He is riding a 9-game hit streak. I'm perfectly fine getting LeMahieu if you're playing Yankees.
Taylor Walls has been pretty good.
He has been pretty good. He's just in and out of the lineup all the time.
Yeah. Shortstop. Wanderers at 55. Volpe grand slam today at $4,500 for him.
He's gonna lead off again because of it.
Ezekiel Duran's 3,100 against whomever. Oakland is probably the spot we want to look at. And that's it.
Casey Schmidt, who homered on Tuesday and then stole a base on Wednesday, John. Okay. Hitting 313 at AAA this year. So he is actually a third baseman playing shortstop at a necessity. So I would, if you're not playing Tommy Henry, I would look at Casey Schmidt.
First hit in the league was a homer off Corbin. There you go.
The only one who did anything against Corbin.
Only one who did anything against Corbin. Outfield, Judge Rosarena, who was off today, so probably in the lineup for Thursday. Yep. Corbin Carroll, 54. Adolis, 53. Adolis has stolen base today. Finally picking up those steals there, James. Josh Lowe's 5K. Very expensive price tag on Josh Lowe, but worth it probably. Where are we going top tier outfield?
I mean, Judge looked really good. 3 hits in his second game back. Already has 2 RBI. Like, he's been on base 5 times in 2 games since being back, so he hasn't skipped a beat. Probably it for me, over 5K, honestly. I think this Harrison Bader, 4K.
Yeah.
Mitch Haniger, 3,700, gets a lefty.
Bleday, Story Ruiz, maybe.
Yep. You can play Luke Raley in the outfield as
Oakland
well.
Against Eovaldi is the 1% or less every guy, probably.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Yep. Honestly, like, you don't really need to go anywhere else. Like, you could play all these Texas guys, like
Robbie Grossman for 2,400.
Yeah, Robbie Grossman, Leotis Taveras has been really, really good of late, and we know there's stolen base equity with him too. So I'd play any of those Texas cheap guys too.
All right, got about a minute or so left. Let's make a lineup. Obviously, plugging Eovaldi. Who's the SP2?
SP2, Alex Cobb.
Alex Cobb over Henry?
I mean, I feel better, but Alex Cobb, if we want to play Henry, we can.
Just thinking for money.
Yeah, that's fine. We could do that then.
$4,300. I think we're just plugging Jonah Hyman here, right?
Yep.
First base, $4,400.
Luke Raley?
Yeah, Luke Raley. Second base, I told you I liked low.
Yep.
Third base,
Josh
Jung. Shortstop,
Wander or Volpe, or we. Well, I was gonna say
we'll have the money to play Franco, so.
Yeah, let's play Wander then.
Okay. $4,300 for an outfielder. We had a value down here.
Bader 4K.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to just not play him right now.
Yeah.
One of the Oakland guys. Oh, Robbie Grossman, 2,400.
Yeah, Grossman is 24.
I don't know if we need to do it.
Well, let's
but it might get us Judge.
That's what I'm thinking. 66 gets us Judge. I like it. That is our late slate lineup. Eovaldi, Henry, Heim, Raley, Lowe, Jung, Franco, Bader, Grossman, and Judge. We got 3 Texas, 3 Tampa Bay, 2 Yankees with a spend down pitcher. Henry, great splits against San Francisco for the lefties, and Nathan Eovaldi. That is our all-day 6-game breakdown, 3 in the morning, 3 at night. James and I will be back for Friday's podcast. No live stream here today, given the split slates. Good luck, everyone.